Moving on now, Willoughby Brewing Company has reopened tonight after being shut down yesterday for not paying their taxes.
And tonight we are learning that unpaid taxes may be just the tip of the problems there. Andrew Horansky is live in Willoughby to explain. Drew, good evening to you.
Good evening to you. The owner here blames that shutdown on an administrative error which has apparently been fixed because, as you said, Willoughby Brewing is back open tonight. Still, if you dig into court records, you will find there is a lot that remains unresolved. Opening in 1998, Willoughby Brewing has been a fixture until last night when the state shut it down over unpaid sales taxes. A note on the door sending patrons away. Well, tonight we're learning that the owner, Rollin Cooke III, may have even bigger problems, with this lawsuit alleging that he fraudulently coerced a 73-year-old woman into selling her majority stake of the restaurant well below market value nearly 2 years ago. According to these documents, the woman acquired the shares from her son and at first refused to sell, giving in under duress and panic, allegedly induced by the threat of litigation and a false promise she could buy back her interest. When the sale went through, it gave Cooke 90% of the business. Tonight, the lawsuit is just one of 7 against him, while the woman claims she hasn't even been paid all her money. All of it coming to light as Willoughby Brewing's owner battles bankruptcy and back taxes. And again, tonight, those back taxes apparently paid. Sarah, we reached out to both Cooke and his attorney today for comment. We did not hear back.
Andrew Horansky in Willoughby for us tonight. Thank you.